guys, it's Mrs. Lanphier, and I just wanted to put this quick video together to kind of help you with understanding this something new that we're trying for Unit 2, this Cornell Notes template. And so just wanted to kind of walk you through on how you should go about filling this out. So first, the top portion is kind of obvious. You're going to want to put in your name, which class you're in, and the date that you're filling this out. And then also include what unit number and name. So for this first one, it's going to be business, or Unit 2, Our Economic World is the title of that unit. So you'd fill in that information there. And main ideas from the unit, this is probably something once you've gone through and taken your notes. So basically what this template is for is to really help you take notes as you're reading through the course. So let me zoom out a little bit. So in this column to the left is where you're going to sort of pull some of the main ideas or the key concepts that you're reading about in each lesson. And you're going to post those in this left column. And then in the right column, you're going to, this is where you kind of place the notes over whatever that main idea is that you pulled. So you should be pulling at least probably 2 to 4, I would say, from each lesson. And I did the first couple for you from Lesson 1, just to kind of show you what I mean. So let's take a look at this. So in Lesson 1, in this section, it talks about your financial status and receiving paychecks. And so while I was reading through this, I kind of just pulled out, and a lot of times it's pretty easy. You've noticed a lot of terms are bolded, or they do really go in depth of describing certain terms, and that's what you should be pulling. So in Lesson 1, there's not really any bolded terms, but something that they go into depth to kind of explain would be this marginal analysis. So that, to me, that's kind of a new term, confusing phrase, whatever. So that would be something that I would pull from the lesson, put it in my left column here of the key concepts, so marginal benefits, marginal costs, and then read further to kind of help yourself explain what this is in the left column that you put. So from reading more in the text, I was able to determine that marginal benefits and marginal costs, marginal means extra or additional. So each financial decision we make has marginal benefits and costs. So extra benefits or extra costs. So with the purchase of one thing, we're missing out on the purchase of another. So that's what they mean when they say marginal analysis. Okay, so that was just one example of like a key term that I pulled out of Lesson 1. Another one were the factors or the societal level issues that influence our individual finances. That was towards the bottom here. Larger forces also impact our economic situation as much, if not more so, than individual decisions. Factors like unemployment rate, the stock market, global trade, economic policy, and the economic situation of other countries may not seem to be readily connected to our daily lives. However, these factors can and do influence our individual financial statuses in a variety of ways. So, and then the next paragraph, it refers to them as these societal level issues. So those factors that they listed above are also called societal level issues. So I pulled that from the text, put it in my notes. So factors or societal level issues that influence our individual financial statuses would be unemployment rate, the stock market, global trade. So this is how, again, how you take notes. So we're going to try this for Unit 2. And like I said, so that was all from Lesson 1. So now you'll go on to Lesson 2, which is the next page. So if you haven't noticed by now, each page in the unit is its own lesson. So in Lesson 2, you should be pulling, I would say, in Lesson 2 looks a little longer, so at least 4, maybe 5 different key concepts here that you should be pulling from your text and including in your Cornell notes. So this section is where you go to take your notes, and let's go back then to this main ideas from the unit. So I would actually do this after you've taken all your notes. So after you've read through the unit, what were some of the main ideas that you learned about? What were some of the main concepts that they touched on? And this is usually kind of a dead giveaway. like at the top of each lesson. So lesson 2 talks about scarce resources and personal finances. Obviously, that's the main idea of this unit. Freebies and their costs, probably another main idea. So usually the topic of each lesson would probably serve as a good main idea to include in that list on your Cornell notes. Okay, so the first chunk of this template is to record your notes from the unit. And then this last box here is for you to summarize what you've read. So you're going to basically summarize the whole unit in your own words in a formally written paragraph. So complete sentences, and you should be using the technical terms and concepts that you've learned in the text. So again, summarizing the paragraph, or summarizing the unit within a paragraph, and including those terms and concepts that you learned from the text. So that's the next part of these Cornell notes. So here's your notes over the unit. Here's the summary of the unit. And then, so we're going to do this in every unit, and you'll be able to hold on to these. You can use these on assignments and quizzes, and then you'll also want to have this is like will be a full-on study guide that you can have and use on the final exam when we get to that point. And then I also included on the second page here the critical thinking questions. So I kind of cut back on some of these or reworded them a little bit. So aside from the Cornell notes on the first page, you'll also be answering some of the critical thinking questions that I've included too. So again, you should be getting all this information from your text. You guys need to be reading the material that's provided to you. I don't mind if you kind of go out and do additional research, but when I'm going in and I'm seeing that you're not even opening our text, that's a problem. So be reading the course material, getting your information from there. Feel free to use outside resources also, but no matter what you do, you need to be putting it in your own words so that it makes sense to you. Some of your responses on the first couple assignments, I couldn't even make sense of because it was obvious you were just doing some outside research and some copying and pasting and using terms and concepts that I couldn't even understand. So if I can't understand it, I'm pretty sure you guys can't understand it. So you need to be reading. The text does a great job of kind of breaking the different concepts down and explaining them very well. So make sure you're reading the text that's provided and using that information to complete these templates. We can, if you have any questions, please bring them to class on Tuesday and we can answer them there.